Welcome to Coddiwompling Along The Tao with Noel Eastwood. This is episode 14 and today I'm talking about the magic of self-hypnosis. And let me just put that there. I've got my notes. You're more than welcome to do screenshots and copy this. The importance of self-hypnosis. Why on earth do people want to learn these sort of things? Why do people walking the path of the Tao or the mystic's path, whatever spiritual path that you're on, why would you want to dedicate so much time and effort in learning to enter those states where you can cross the boundaries of consciousness, which is what self-hypnosis does? You have the answer. I've got my own personal answers. You've got your own that you can answer yourself. You don't need me to tell you. So I'm just going to walk you through where I'm coming from. I've practiced as a clinical hypnotherapist for 30 odd years. And I still teach it, with all of my clients, with all of the people that I mentor, my students. This is what we do. This is the portal to your unconscious. This is the springboard that you bounce on and dive into the unconscious. But you need to learn a few things about how to manage that, how to do it. So first of all, I've got my cheat sheet here, so please bear with me. So what is self-hypnosis? It's the same states as meditation, contemplation, trance, whatever you want to call it. It's a matter of going into that zone. There are 3 basic levels of that trance state. So there's the light one. And light is just you close your eyes, you breathe in and out, and you're just starting to goof off. You can still feel your fingers. You still hear the kids in the house next door playing. You still hear the dog barking, but they're getting dimmer and dimmer. Now, the light trance state is where we do most of the work. Then there's a medium where you no longer have a physical body, but there's this tiny spark of awareness that we work with, and we just make that spark bigger and bigger and bigger as we practice more and more. And then there's the deep trance. That's where you're, for all intents and purposes, you're asleep. You are in a really deep state. But that's a special place as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. Why? Okay, in terms of psychotherapy, which, excuse me, what I've specialized in my practice, I need to explain this. The unconscious or your unconscious there's no rules there. It just does things. And unless you deliberately train it to do what you want it to do, it will just keep on doing the same. So if you have a trauma, that trauma will be replayed over and over whenever there's a trigger. Why? Why doesn't our unconscious just say, hey, stop that? Well, no one's told your unconscious. You have not deliberately gone into your unconscious and said, hey, look, I don't like those feelings or those images or the memories. Let's do something about it. So we actually have to deliberately train our unconscious to do as we wish, what we want it to do. And that's a really important part of healing. And that's what I spent most of my time working with the people that I've worked with. The unconscious knows no better than to keep running old programs. So once those old programs of childhood, and remember they start from around 5 months of conception. So you're running programs of your non-verbal body, the sensations it's experiencing, they can actually develop into programs to protect itself. But as we get older, we don't need to put up the barriers. We don't need those old programs. They become barriers to our growth. So our unconscious needs direction, guidance, and you need to do that consciously. And that's where the different levels of trance come into it. You are needed to provide the volition, the energy, the drive, the direction. That's why we need to keep a little bit of consciousness there to say, okay, well, unconscious, this is what I want you to do. See this picture? Okay, let's put a transparency over it of a nicer picture. Let's change the sounds. We can do NLP, we can do guided imagery. There's lots of things that we can do. But the volition comes from your conscious mind. So that's why that light trance and medium trance stages are really so valuable. To make changes through developing new programs to cater for your changing life needs. So as we change and we change our goals, we want new programs running in our unconscious to assist us in meeting those goals. The unconscious needs to be shown how to behave, and new programs introduced to replace the old, outdated ones that aren't working for you. So remember, the old programs will run for your entire life. They'll get in the way. You'll trip over them. It's like, when your kids are little and you've got Lego blocks all over the floor. Well, just imagine you're now 99 years old and you're still tripping over those same darn Lego blocks in your bare feet. Oh, okay. We don't want those old programs. You then practice these new programs until they become the new normal. Now, that's important. The unconscious learns from repetition. It needs to be shown what to do, and then you have to practice it over and over and over. Hello? If you want to be an artist, do you just go and buy a set of pencils and a sketch pad and produce a Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa in one go? No. You practice the heck out of it. That's what you do. You practice and practice, and you have techniques. And it's no good just practicing any old technique. You practice correct technique. You practice the techniques that are that fit for you, and that's exactly the same with self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is more a directed pathway to the unconscious. Meditation is more a free form. This is the way I understand it anyway. Meditation to me is I breathe in, I breathe out, I go into that gaga space where I lose my body, and then basically I allow my body wisdom to take me where it wants to take me. However, if I've got an issue or a problem or something I want to work out, I will deliberately close my eyes, breathe in and out. I usually go outside like I've got a covered area out in the back of the house, and I've got an old recliner there that I pull, and I stretch out, and I breathe in, and that's where I do my meditation sometimes, but mostly my contemplation. So I'll take my sketch pad, my notebooks, and my pen, and I will just ease into that light trance state, and that's where I do my contemplation, my goal setting. That's where I will take in the issue, and I bring it into my aura, and I sort of play with it, and I'm telling my unconscious, see this issue, that's what I want you to work with for me. You get on with it. And then I leave it. I leave my unconscious to get on with the job of resolving it for me. It doesn't want me annoying it. It wants me, look, go and have a dream, Noel. Just goof off somewhere. Go and have a daydream or whatever. And then more than likely I'll come back and and then it's like, now, okay, I understand that. If it's not finished, if it's not like fully cooked, like in the oven, I will play with it again. I'll look at it from the different angles and see what's changed. And then I'll let go of it again. And I'll allow my unconscious to deal with it further. So that's the different layers of consciousness. Now, if I'm exhausted, if I'm not well, or I've woken up at like the other morning, I got this knock on the window, woke me at 3:30 or something. There was no one at the window. It was my inner world saying, meditation time, Noel. You said 4 o'clock. Well, you're in a sleep cycle, and 4 o'clock, you're going to be too deep. So we're going to wake you up now, and you're going to start doing your meditations now. So that is only the other day, and the next morning I'm like, I'm tired. Meditation what I do, it can make you tired because you're sort of not always in that deep gone zone. You're in different stages of trance. You're in the light stage for a while where you're prepping things, you're setting programs, and you go into the medium trance stage, which is where you are practicing and you're allowing your unconscious. Then then I'll fall asleep into a very deep sleep, and then I'll come back up again and see how things are going, and I'll be doing that till I get out of bed at dawn, which is 6:30, 7 o'clock. So 3 hours of that, I was tired. So what I would do is I would go into my lounge chair or my recliner and just go through all the different layers of trance into a deep trance and actually get some quality sleep. Okay. Visual. Practice correct techniques, and there's 3 main modalities, and these come from NLP. I'm going to write that down. NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Oop, don't need to say that. So visual. About 50% of the population are extremely visual. So they close their eyes and they have a panorama. Oh man, I can see the boat on the lake over there. Oh wow, I can, there's the seagulls, and look at the bright colours. I can't do that unless I'm in a deep medium trance. So what would these people do? If I gave them a meditation where, you feel yourself rocking in the hammock and you've got the sound of the wind in the trees, they're going to be like, are you kidding? I can't feel anything and I can't hear anything. So you would pitch their meditation to a visual, a guided imagery. You'd get them, and that would take them into trance. So that's their pathway. The auditory. So about 30% of people, they just love the sound of the rain. The rain on a tin roof. Come on, can't get any better. The sound of waves rolling in. A lot of people like thunderstorms. I've got those too. And about 20% are extremely kinesthetic. So they feel. That's me. So I can close my eyes and I imagine I'm on the beach and I can feel the towel under my back and I can feel the hot sun on my face and my body, and oh my God, I start to go off. Or I can be in the hammock and I'm rocking in the hammock, and if I put on some rain sounds or just some gentle music, and then I'm in trance. So what we do is we use our strongest modality to take us into trance. If I'm struggling, I'll put in some smell of wet earth. When it rains and the smell of the earth comes up? Those sort of things. Taste and smell can be very powerful. It will take you, it's like a shortcut into trance. And then all the other modalities open up for you. Repetition is essential. Practice daily or 5 times a day. When I started doing this stuff, I would practice heaps. I've had clients tell me that they do their meditations 5 times a day. It works. We are biological creatures. The more we practice, the better we get at things. It's like painting a picture. You practice and practice and practice. It's like when you play soccer or football. If you kick that ball 100 times a day, every day, you get really good at it. If you kick the ball once a day or once a week, you won't get good at anything. Posture. Personally, there's no special posture. I prefer to lie down in my recliner, and I use my bed sometimes. Psychotherapy and your inner world. You can do healing, and it's generally done in that light to medium trance state. Light is for programming, goal setting. I do a lot of goal setting. Meeting your archetypes in inner selves and your inner child, and to initiate healing. So the light trance state is where you're just starting to goof off. There's still sounds around you, but they're starting to fade. So this is where you still have that volition I was talking about. This is where you program what to do in your meditation. Okay? Then you drop into the medium, and that's where the programs start to run. So now there's no sound, there's no body. You're just a blob of jelly. But there's that spark of awareness that keeps you in there. But then you'll drop into the deep state, which is where that's deep healing. That's where I do my healing with the chi energy, and that's the springboard for astral travel. How to do it? Those auditory people, use music or sounds of the rain and things like that. Don't use songs with words, because the left brain has a part over here on the left temporal lobe, the auditory part of the brain. It listens for words, and it becomes alert because, over the past 23 million years, whatever, that we've evolved from, branched off as primates, we listen for the sounds of communication, because that can tell us if they're friend or enemy. So that's a trigger. It can startle you. It will bring you out of trance. So try not to use words, voices. Visual, for those extremely visual people, use your imagination. Give yourself a story. Guided imagery, they're really good. So you're on a journey and go in there, and then that will take you deeper and deeper as you get better at it. You could imagine being at the beach, watching the waves roll in. That's where my Neptune archetype takes me. You can imagine walking up the mountains, talking to your guides. But the goal is to go from light, because that's light trance level. It's not a lot of magic happens there. The magic happens in the medium trance to deep trance. So with the visual people, I've worked a lot with people. The visual people do not make the gains that the others do, particularly if they are extremely visual, because they get caught in the light trance state. You've got to work at using that to springboard into the medium and then into the deep. Kinesthetic, warm sun on your face, the waves rolling up through your body. It's like warm honey going through your body. If you've read my psychological astrology in the 12 houses, you'll read my different meditations with the archetypes, and then this is one of them, and it's a cool meditation too. And then the wave rolls down through your body again. And the kinesthetic part is where that'll take you boom into trance straight away. It's good. Rocking in a hammock, having your back massage is a nice one. You can actually go to your special place, to your sanctuary, and have a healer there. And that's where you lie on the massage table and they'll give you a massage. And you can actually feel it with practice. Okay, going into trance is the portal of your unconscious. So trance, I use the word trance a lot. It's a common word, so don't be scared of trance, ooh, voodoo. No, it's just a word to say that there's levels of depth of that meditative state. The secret is in your ability to switch off your internal dialogue. So if you've read my newsletters, you've read my books, you'll see that internal dialogue can be switched off. And that's actually a goal of the mystic. Part of the Taoist training is that you're so engaged in doing your Tai Chi or your Qigong, your Nigong, or in yoga, you're so engaged in doing that your internal dialogue does switch off. That's when the magic happens. Use those techniques in my books and guided meditations. I've got them on soundcloud.com, and I'm going to open up an account with soundwise.com, where I'll be putting more and more meditations, and I'll be turning these into podcasts. They'll be on my soundwise.com page. Make your self-hypnosis and your meditations your safe place to heal. This is where magic happens. This is where you meet and heal your traumatized and wounded inner selves, your inner child. This is where you do the healing. You start at the light, excuse me, and then you're working down into the medium, which is where the healing starts. It leads to dreaming, astral travel, out of body, and meeting the guides and others on the other side of consciousness. So I'm just going to put that up here for anyone that wants a screenshot. There you go, grab that. That's my notes, because I have something for you. Let me get rid of that. and give you put this one up. Hang on, I'm not, as you can see, I'm not real good at this sort of stuff, so I'm getting there. Nolan Technology. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is like a diagram of going into the zone. So level 1 is here. So here you are, wide awake. You're talking to people, and your brain is producing it's dominating around 12 to 40 hertz. You're in the beta. And as you start to relax, now you're starting to do your meditation. So up here, you're busy. And then you say to yourself, oh, Noel said I should go and sit in my recliner and have a meditation. Okay, so do my self-hypnosis. So here you are, your eyes are open, but you're getting tired because you started your breathing, you're doing a progressive relaxation, and you're working your way down to going deeper and deeper. Now, once you close your eyes, the eyes are a switch to the brain. You close your eyes and your brain will automatically jump out of here and work towards 8 to 12 hertz, which is your alpha. The alpha state is called the resting state of the brain, and that means that your brain is not working. Your brain goes into idle. It's like you slip the gear of your car into neutral, and the brain is producing no internal dialogue. This is magic. We train going into alpha by looking into the distance and up a little bit, looking at the clouds, goofing off, looking into the distance. You know, like you're looking out the window, you're on holidays, you're looking at the mountains in the distance, and, you know, your wife or your husband or someone calls out, no, dinner's ready, and you're just gone. No, dinner's ready. And they say, what were you thinking? And you go, I don't know. I'm just looking out the window. So what happens is the brain is not processing verbally. The internal dialogue is switched off. It's a pretty magic space. So we can actually train that without actually closing our eyes. But the moment you do, that's a message to the brain, go to sleep. Close our eyes, and then within seconds our brainwaves will start to adjust and change. Your eyes are closing as you begin your self-hypnosis routine. This is ideal for your contemplations and your goal setting. Your brain is producing strong alpha to calm your mind-body. And what actually happens is the alpha synchronizes from between the left and the right. So this is a pretty special space. As this is your first portal, as you're sliding downwards across the conscious-unconscious divide. Now we are going from the conscious world into the unconscious. There needs to be a special barrier between the conscious world and the unconscious world, or the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Because just imagine you're walking across a road and you're daydreaming, your mind is in the unconscious world, and not a good idea. So we need the ability to remain conscious, because 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, it was dangerous to walk around goofing off. You would walk into the jaws of crocodiles. You would step on a snake. You would fall off a cliff. Okay, so we need the ability to be strongly beta-brained, conscious, to be alert to possibilities, opportunity, and danger. But then when we close our eyes, that's a message to our unconscious. It's all right now. We're safe. It's sleep time. It's all right. You can go to sleep now. So that's what we do. We close our eyes. We go down through the brainwaves, alpha. We switch off our internal dialogue. We go into a medium trance, which is called the lucid state. Now, this is important because now you're no longer awake. This is important. This barrier here, awake, asleep. To get in here, you actually have to fall asleep. I know it sounds weird, but when we are in the lucid state, we train ourselves to go in and out, so that we remain semi-alert where we do our inner work. You're no longer aware of your physical body. you're dreaming, and this is where you train to work with your archetypes, heal your wounded inner selves, astral travel, go flying, visioning, meet guides, and leave your body. Your brain is producing mostly theta brainwaves. So there's a bit of alpha there, and there's a bit of delta. So you're actually lifting up into alpha, so you're alert, but it's really semi-alert. Then you're back into the theta again. And what happens is as you rise into alpha, you remember what you're doing. Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to be talking to the guides. Then you drop back in there and talk to the guides. And you start to drift down, and then you can come back up again and go, oh, what was I doing again? Man, that was cool what I just, what we just talked about. I'm going to go back in, boom. So this is the magic place, the lucid state. And it's elusive because usually when we go to sleep, we go, crash right through and we're asleep. This can be like as thin as a wafer for most people. For us, for the mystic, we train to make this really thick and wide so we can play in there. We swim in there. Like this is where we do our work. And then, of course, boom. This is the deep trance state, and you are now asleep, deeply asleep. This state is used for deep healing, and it's the next portal to other experiences. So this is why when I do my 4 a.m. meditations, I don't get out of bed. I stay in bed, I do my breathing, because I will drop, do a little bit here, and then boom, I'm in here. And this is where I'll do my astral travel and leave my body. Okay, so this is really, really, really deep. But we train to do all 3 layers. Alpha, very important because it's a calming place for the brain. It gives our brain a rest and where we turn off our internal dialogue. For theta, that's where we do the bulk of our inner work. And the delta, that's where all the shackles are released, all the chains holding us to our physical body and the physical world are gone, and where we're free to go into the other worlds. Okay, well, I think I've used up enough of your time. I just want to show you. This is, here we go. This is my PayHip site. This is where I sell my books and my audio books. I've got a lot of this stuff that I've just talked about. It's in that 12 houses one there. And there's a little bit more in the introduction, but this is the one that I would recommend. Oh, here we go. The self-hypnosis one. That's where I've got a lot of case studies and a lot of exercises. I think this is the one that you'll enjoy. Have I got that there? Oh, here we go. This is the CD. Oh, this is the audio one. And also, don't forget, if you can, purchase through my PayHip site, because the others don't pay much. Like, I'm serious. We did an audit on Audible.com. You know all about Amazon and their monopoly. Well, Audible is a branch of Amazon, and my latest returns on my sales, 7%. I was starved to death on those returns. Anyway, I'm going to leave you and thank you for Coddiwompling Along the Tao with me. And if you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to talk about, send me an email. Okay, bye.